All right, then. So now let's so we have to follow a very specific project folder structure, right? Because when you're planning to deploy your website, so we are going to deploy it in a hosting server. On that hosting server, you're going to have a very specific folder called public. Under this folder only, we have to publish our entire website. Inside this folder, by default, you have this index.html file. Index.html file. So we're going to replace this index.html with our index.html, so to map our entire website contents. So every hosting server has a default folder called public. So what you have to do is you have to create this public folder, public, and inside this public folder you can keep all your assets folder like css, and you can have your javascript, and you can have your images, and you can keep all the others files in a specific folders. And at the end, just like this same way where you have your assets, you have to keep your index.html too. This is the project folder structure. The reason why we are maintaining this project folder structure, because the browsers are running on the V8 engine, which is mainly developed on JavaScript, right? So these things will be very easier for your browser engine to understand your file, to identify the locations of your file, and to navigate to that very specific locations instantly. So it will avoid unnecessary loading process, right? That's the reason we have to maintain a proper folder structure, right? So in this case, I'm going to build a new folder called, so all you have to do is to click this plus icon or click this new file, or just directly right click in your root folder and create a new folder and give public, name it as public. So this is the reason we have pre-installed our icon, the theme icon, right? So inside this public folder, I'm going to create a new folder called assets. Now you can see inside the public, I have a new folder called assets. Now right click your public folder again and create a new file called index.html, index.html. So now we have ourselves a new file inside the folder, and you can see we have the files are organized in a proper way. Now inside the assets, I don't have anything. It's completely empty. So inside the assets, I'm going to keep a new folder called CSS. And inside the assets, I'm going to create new folder again called, sorry, inside the assets, JavaScript. And inside the assets, I'm going to create a new folder images and one more folder called others. So this is how you need to maintain your project structure. Anyways, I'm not going to keep anything inside this folders so far, right? Now inside this HTML, so I need to bring our HTML coding structure. So we all know that we need to, for hypertext markup language, we'll always using this as an opening brackets and using this as a closing brackets. This is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. For instance, let's say if I want to open the HTML, I need to open it in this way. If I wish to close the HTML, I need to close it in this way. So this is how the tag will works, right? So the structure of the HTML is like, you need to type the HTML, then inside the HTML you have this head tag, and inside this head tag you might have the meta tags, and you also have the link tags, and of course you might also have the title tags. And from some cases we used to write the styles also, so styles also will come inside this head tag itself. So head will be finished over here. Then you can come inside the entire body structure. So inside this entire body structure only, we have to design our complete programming. So the head tag, basically all this information which comes under this top section over here, this tab section, you can see. And inside this body, this white area, the entire white area is our body section, right? So we need a specific boilerplate code. Instead of typing it completely, either type HTML5 and press tab, that will brings your boilerplate code, or you can simply type this exclamatory icon and press your tab key, so that will brings you a exclamatory and press the tab or enter, so that will brings this boilerplate code. So you have to understand this very specific boilerplate code, because this is really important, because over top here we have this underscore doc type HTML. Currently, as I said, we are using HTML5, which is some animations or some modern designs, or really helps us to understand the entire UI of the website. right? These UIs are might not load properly in normal HTML, like in a very old browsers. So in such a cases, if the HTML file is not supported, we have to use normal HTML. That's what we are mentioning over here. If the document type, if not document type is HTML, so we are going to use this. If it is, we are going to use the plain HTML, right? So, and also we have this language, what language code that we are using, English basically. So if you wish to change to any specific language, type your language code over here. Then by default, the browser uses the Google Translator to convert your entire website to that specific language. Then inside the head, as I said, we have some meta tag informations, and also we have the title tags. So basically the title tag, it's the top section where you can able to see this area. All right, this is the one. One second. Oh, come on. This is the one, this particular area. Okay, that's the one which we are using for the title tag, right? So then what we have to do is we have to understand this meta tag. So what is basically the UTF-8, character set UTF-8? If you search for character set UTF-8, meaning, so here you can say that is the Unicode transformation format 8-bit. So that's the thing. So this is how numbers are translated into binary numbers, right? So it's basically, if you're sending a text as hello in binary, it will be sent in this way, like a standard encryption way, right? Then the second one, which helps us to understand the screen sizes. So we need to create a responsive web designs, right? So to how we are doing it, right? So for some of the we need to understand the devices first. So how we can understand the devices? So we need to read the browser. With the help of the browser engine, we need to read the device height and width basically on what our website is being loaded. So we can get that information by using this viewport. So this viewport will really helps us to understand the screen width and height of our website on which device it's being loaded. Right, using that height and width, we can create a responsive designs and everything. So the initial scale is going to be 100%. Basically, we are going to occupy the complete 100% height and width of the screen of a device, right? So these are the header informations and everything. So now over here, I'm just going to type some h1 tags, and I'm going to say heading 1 and heading 1, and I'm going to copy and paste it few more times. Then I'm going to change these things to 2, 3, 4 and 5. So these are basically the heading tags which for display the headings in a different sizes. So let's see how to run this file. All I have to do is to open the file browsers and right click the index.html and open it with the live server. So that will opens the entire website in a local server which we previously installed. So if you haven't installed it yet, please search for live server. So this will help you to run your entire website locally. So the reason why we need to do that is because if I'm making any changes over here, for instance, something like this, once I save this, you can instantly see the changes over there. You can see big something, you can see. So you can see the changes every time. Whenever you're saving this file, it will be instantly refreshed in the browser. So that's the reason we are using this live server. So this is how your entire website it's being designed, and the basic structure of your project, and the basic introduction about your index.html file, the HTML file. So how they are being structured and organized and everything. All right. So now let me give you the introduction about the CSS.